Greetings, folks, and yeah, as you might know, I am currently in the midst of moving to a new house, and as part of that process, I've been getting all kinds of stuff out of storage and just sort of organizing it and getting it ready for its new home along the way. And it sort of ended up in this happening. I just realized I had an Apple II collection. I've never had them all out together before, and so I don't have any other video ready for this week because I'm moving and redoing the house and stuff has taken a lot of time. But you know what? It just seemed kind of fun, like having them all out like this, and I wanted to mark the occasion before I get them onto a shelf and stored away somewhere, you know. And obviously these need some repair work, so I do want to keep them out somewhat and accessible so I can get them restored, repaired, cleaned up, you know, at the very minimum. Obviously there's some missing keys and yellowing going on, and this 2GS is a bit dirty. I don't even know if I ever cleaned that back when I did a video on this many years ago on LGR. Wow, it's been a long time since I've had some of these. So yeah, that's literally all this video is. If you're not interested in just being like, hey, here's some computers, let's talk about them, then this is not the video for you. It is just kind of filler content while you know, I'm in between working on house stuff and setting up my new LGR filming space. And also, I have this. Check this out. While I was here at the new place, setting everything up, I came back home one afternoon and this big old pile of stuff was waiting for me. And yeah, this is another Apple II. In fact, it's an Apple IIe in here, it should be anyway, that was recently offered to me for sale from an LGR viewer and gave me a pretty good deal, I thought, on a complete system. I'm really excited to get to that because it's just one that I don't have, and it has a display in there and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, we will get to that. Now let's just take a look at the Apple II first. Yeah, just the original Apple II, launched in 1977. Although this one I think was actually manufactured in 1979. Yeah, 41st week of 1979 I can see on the date sticker back there, just handwritten on these. And yeah, it's just about, actually it might actually be the oldest computer I actually have in terms of manufacture date. I can't think of too many older ones that aren't like CPU testers or logic learning computers, whatever, those kind of things. I've actually never had it turned on because I know for a fact that it needs some power supply work. And yeah, this was sold to me, or offered to me for sale from some LGR viewers. I don't recall at the moment how they came across it, but yeah, I was like, holy crap, yes. I will buy that one. It looks pretty clean. I've always wanted an original Apple II. And yeah, in terms of what it has in there, not a whole lot, but you know, it's your basic Apple II setup, which is pretty sweet. We do have this ROM card here. Yeah, 1978 Apple Computer ROM card. And of course, the classic Disk 2 interface, so you can plug in drives 1 and 2 right there with a ribbon cable. And that's it in this one. It's very, very simple. I don't even know if it ever had any more in it than it does here. This is just how it came. But I mean, the board looks fantastic. I don't exactly know any real specifics about it because I am not an expert in these at all. And that's one reason they intrigue me as much as they do. I'm more of a PC person, you know, the IBM realm of things and DOS and Windows and all that. So these really quite excite me. And you know, it was the very first computer that I ever used. It wasn't an Apple II original, it was an Apple IIe in kindergarten back in the day, which we'll unbox that later. Next up here is a one that I actually found on, I want to say it was Craigslist. It was about 7 or 8 years ago. And a former teacher, nice old lady, had this in her attic, effectively, or it was up near the very top and kind of a loft of her house, just sitting there forever. I believe she actually bought this in 1981, if I recall. Yeah, this is an Apple II Plus. I love the keyboard on this one. In fact, of all of these that I have out, I think this is about my favorite feeling, other than the 2C, which we'll get to, but I mean, they all feel pretty awesome. But this one, I don't know. This one does actually, the keyboard has some issues. Half the keys don't work, or they're sort of intermittent. But, and the power supply probably needs to be redone, but it does work very well last time I checked. And it does have a fair bit more installed in there in terms of cards, interfaces, and all kinds of things for joysticks and input devices. Let's see. An Apply card. You get this thing here with stuff going on. The only thing I've ever really done on here is play some Zork and Oregon Trail, and yeah, not much more than that. It did come with disk drives. I don't have any of the, well, they're over somewhere packed up still, but yeah, disk drive just go in right there. And yeah, all kinds of stuff. That's one thing that I'm hoping to do here in the new space is, you know, have some space to set these things up and leave them set up so I can learn. Yeah, like, what is this? Honestly, this is how a lot of my videos start, especially when it's a platform I'm not very familiar with. You know, just going through here and like seeing what in the world actually came in this system that I picked up, and yeah, what can be done with it. What is anything? Okay, so yeah, that Apply card, check that out. That is a Zilog Z80 CPU. And this is pretty much an entire CP/M computer on a card. It's got memory, it's got the processor, it's got all the other kind of chips and things that it needs, and you can run CP/M on your Apple II. How awesome. However, even after looking this up, I still don't know exactly what this is. It's kind of lacking in information on the card itself in terms of what's printed on the PCB. We got a bunch of numbers and 927B, but I mean, obviously it appears to be some kind of a display situation. We got a CRT controller chip and whatnot, but I don't know if this is like an 80 column card or something related to the CP/M card. I don't know. Anytime that I've tested this out, I've never actually known what to do with this. So let me know in the comments if you know exactly what this is. But yeah, I love the 2 Plus in particular. I think it might be my favorite in terms of the design. You know, it's just that classic logo, nice and centered, the green plus wordage on there, and you know, as cool as the Apple IIe is and nostalgic as it is, it's just the simplicity of this, the design, the color scheme, you know, the whole thing. And that brings us to the Apple IIe Enhanced, which I don't even know if I realized that's what it was until looking at it recently, because this is another one that I have never had working. Obviously, it's got some keys that were, I think they were actually falling off in shipping because this was terribly packed. It was just a cheap eBay purchase many, many years ago, and I hoped to get it working or, you know, get it fixed up, and I just never did. It sort of fell off the project list because it sort of went into storage, and that was that. Oh, I guess I have something in here. Oh, there's the keys, or at least some of them. Yeah. So this is one of those, it's got that, I think it's like a RAM expansion board up there at the very tip top. There's an I/O controller card right here. Super serial card right there. I think this one was actually made in 1986, manufactured in 86. I don't exactly see dates on there, but I do see a lot of date codes. Anyway, this one's probably the one that needs the most work. Potentially, I don't know. Man, where is an Adrian Black when you need him? I also want to mention with this keyboard that needs some attention. I did end up picking this up not too long ago. This is one of the Mac Effects replacement modern keyboards. They do often come in clear. That's probably what they're more known for, but I got the gray variant, which actually looks more beige to me. Even got a new enhanced sticker to put down there if we want to. But yeah, look at this. Just a beautiful thing. Brand new replacement keyboard with Alps switches. Oh yeah, nice and mechanical tactile switches. I definitely want to put this on one of the Apple IIes that I have. I don't know if it'll be this one or what. Maybe. Especially if I end up retrobrighting the thing and getting it much nicer, or, you know, closer to this color here for the case itself. I think that would be pretty awesome. Anyway, just wanted to mention that. I'm, you know, not sponsored or anything. I just bought it and I like it and I can't wait to put it on something. And we get to this beautiful thing here. This is maybe the very first Apple II that I bought. I don't remember if it was this or the 2GS or what, but yeah, here we have an Apple IIc, a bit yellowed unevenly, but that's how it goes. Yeah, I've always loved this one though. The whole overall slim design of it. You got the built-in floppy drive, nice little carrying handle, so many integrated interfaces and ports and functionality and outputs. Just so much stuff. Look at that phenomenal green power switch. Love that. Love it all, man. Volume and headphones. And in particular, this is one of the models with the awesome keyboards. I believe this is an Alps thing. Feels great. Oh yeah, look at that. So those are an Alps, like a dark yellow or orange, or I don't remember exactly what they're called, but they're some of my favorite key switches that I have ever used, period. They are, I don't know why, but it's just the right amount of tactility and click and key travel and resistance and actuation, the whole thing. It is just about a perfect feeling lower profile keyboard. Absolutely love the way that this one feels. I just got totally lucky on that. This was another, I want to say an eBay purchase, but yeah, it was so long ago now, I don't remember. And it was just one that I picked up. I didn't even know that there were different types of keyboards. Apparently there's the other mechanism that they mostly came with is kind of crap, squishier. All of these delightful design cues going on from Apple stuff of that era. Very much carried over into the Apple IIgs as well. Which brings us to this right here. Yeah. Another one of my favorites to use. In fact, this is the Apple II that I have used the most, at least in adulthood. Like I said, way back in the day, the very first computer I ever used was an Apple IIe, but you know, that was just at school. It was like a computer-ish class thing. They'd give you like a floppy disk and you learn how to type words and print things and save files and stuff like that. But yeah, this one, it was either the 2C or the 2GS that I got first. Either way, this was kind of my reintroduction to the Apple II series as I started collecting computers in later years. But yeah, it's very Mac-like in many ways. This is a criminally underrated computer, or at least it used to be. I don't know, maybe people finally caught on to it. But yeah, you got ADB and all these other, again, very Mac-like ports. Well, I guess ADB is over here, but serial modem printer and all these integrated lovely things, while also having expansion options. Also opens up really nice and easy like that. And yeah, I did a video on this a very long time ago on LGR. It's probably terrible. I haven't watched it in many years, so I don't know if I recommend it, but here it is. And this one has some really fascinating and it turns out very sought after upgrades. As you see here, as one of them, it's got the InnerDrive 20 high performance hard disk system power supply upgrade, because there was a hard disk in here at some point, which attaches right there to that Applied Ingenuity interface. Even more awesome though is this right here, the Transwarp GS by Applied Engineering, an accelerator card that apparently is really darn sought after. But yeah, I was given a good deal on a complete setup, you know, the monitor and the peripherals and all sorts of other stuff that I have yet to dig back out of storage. But yeah, again, an LGR reviewer just got in touch way back in the day. It was like, hey, do you want to buy this? I'm getting rid of it. So ended up with a very nicely spec'd out 2GS. This thing works beautifully last I checked. And yes, the barrel battery, the Tataran, has been snipped out of there. In fact, I just did that it had just been sitting around for so long and I had completely forgotten that it was even in there, so I got lucky that that did not leak. Don't do what I've done and let these things sit around for so long. All right, again, sorry this is also surface level. Normally I love getting these things all set up and really doing some research and putting effort into the video, but that's just what I'm really itching to get back to here as soon as I can at the new space, but I still have to like set up the new space. At the moment, I've got this table and that's it. And a really echoey couple of rooms. So it's not really suited for doing any kind of work yet. We'll get to it. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that Apple IIe over there that was sent to me recently that I bought. Check it out. Let's just see what's in there. And I really want to check out that Apple Monitor 3 because I just love the way those things look. Okay, so there are 4 boxes and I believe one of them is just expansion cards, maybe software or something. One is the computer, one's the monitor, and maybe the other one's disk drives. Don't exactly know, but we discussed how best to ship all this and get it nice and protected along the way, and doing everything as separate and protected as possible seemed to be the best idea. Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, that right there is the stand, the monitor stand. Computer just slides up underneath that. It's awesome because it's like pretty much the exact right dimensions and everything for not just to get the Apple II under, but the Monitor 3 on top. Here's the disk drives. Okay. Look at that. It's got a Bell & Howell sticker on there. That was a different type or a different branded labeled version of an Apple II. This is not a Bell & Howell Apple II, but yeah, made exclusively for Bell & Howell by Apple Computer. That's pretty cool. So this is drive 2. I think this is the one that's supposed to be like just fine, tested, working. And this is just a regular disk 2 drive. Not labeled 1 or 2, but I think this is the one that was described to me as flaky. So might just need a bit of a cleaning, maybe a little lubrication or something, but cosmetically it is in rather nice shape externally. Oh man, that has got a smell to it. It smells like the 80s. Wow, that thing is in really, really good shape. And it's got those keys with a bit more resistance than the Plus. Similar to the 2E Enhanced, but not exactly the same. Yeah, this does feel a little bit better than that. Who knows, maybe my the other one is just a little bit worn down. I don't know what the process is like over the decades of aging with these keyboards. Sometimes stuff just wears out. But yeah, straight up Apple IIe. You said it was an early model too. Let me check. Not that I know what I'm looking at here, but there is the serial number. I'm sure one of you will look it up. And in terms of the rear end situation, it's looking good. I believe all the expansion cards have actually been taken out of there so they weren't like wobbling around in the slots. And they're like individually wrapped inside here, so let's see. Well, I got some discs. Discware DOS 3.3, Apple Writer 2, more Apple Writer 2. Nice little desiccant and Apple IIe and 2C diagnostic disc. Well, that's handy. I do have a floppy EMU, but it's nice to have some actual discs to test out too. So yeah, in terms of expansion cards, looks like we've got just the disk interface, and then I don't know what this is. 80 column / 64K expansion. So that'll go just right here, keyboard end here. Nice. And there we go, classic. Disk 2 interface card, 1978. And we'll just get this into slot 6. And got some openings there to get the ribbon cables through later to test out those drives. And this has got to be our Apple Monitor 3. As a person that rather enjoyed the first few seasons of Lost, I have always wanted one of these monitors. You know, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42 and all that. Double boxed. Yeah, this is a proper packaging. Look at all this. Look at this. I just love the way these look, man. So that right there is an Apple Monitor 3. In my opinion, one of the best displays of its time period. In terms of aesthetics alone, and my goodness, is it in good condition. Whew. It is, of course, monochrome green phosphor only. We do have that anti-glare kind of mesh coating on there, but actually that one, I mean, it looks basically new. It can be a real pain if it gets torn or really dirty, but I don't mind it at all if it's nice and good shape and whatnot. So yeah, just composite video input right there. That's all you get, and that's great. Yeah, May 1983 manufacture on there. Phenomenal. All right, well, yeah, let me get this all plugged in and we'll just test it out. I mean, it was tested right before being shipped over here, so everything's supposed to work except for that one disk drive that is a little bit iffy, but whatever, man, I'm pretty darn excited. Let's try this thing out. All right, well, this is looking friggin' beautiful. I've got the disk drives plugged in internally there, and I'm gonna go with testing drive 2 as drive 1 at the moment, because I believe this is the one that works. We'll test that one too, but yeah. Be advised, do not try this at home. Using old power supplies without testing first, especially these Apple II ones. There are components in there that are prone to go pop and let out magic smoke, but whatever. I'm feeling dangerous, and I'm gonna risk it. What is life without a little risk? Okay, got the wine. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, that is fantastic. Let me see if I remember any of these key combos. Yeah, it's reset. I think this might be the kernel test. Yeah, kernel okay. Cool. Dude, okay. So we've got Apple II Diskware DOS 3.3 System Master. Let's see if we can get this going. Oh. Look how cool that looks. That just looks so awesome. Oh man. The only time I've ever seen one of these Monitor 3s functioning is at like a computer show, like a Vintage Computer Festival, Midwest in particular. Never actually spent real time with it. We have Apple Writer 2. My apologies to Apple II enthusiasts for being so ignorant. I really need to learn these systems. Again, I've only ever really messed around with the 2GS to any extent, and some of the 2C, but you know, those, they just work differently. They have different integrated software and hardware and all kinds of things. Wow, okay, look at this. Dude, that looks fantastic. Really hope it's coming across on camera. Let me zoom in a bit. This just looks so good. Yeah, just the way that text is, the contrast, the glare reduction even looks pretty great. There's only a couple little slightly dirty spots. Hopefully those will clean without too much trouble. They don't look terribly embedded in there. But yeah, like, you know, for a composite video, I'm always impressed how good this looks. Truly beautiful, in my opinion. This is probably gonna need some lubrication. It sounds a little creaky, but oh, okay. Oh. Dude. Okay, so let's all the keys are working. Dude, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. What did it say to do for help? Open Apple question mark? I think there were also some of these Monitor 3s that came without the anti-glare coating on here. I know some folks don't like it. I quite do, as long as it's in good shape. And, you know, it reminds me of my Amdek monochrome monitor that did an unboxing on a while back in LGR. I really like the way that looks as well. Makes it nice and contrasty, a little bit dimmer perhaps, but as long as the phosphors and the monitor itself is healthy, it looks great. And of course you can remove that coating if you want manually, but you have to take the whole thing apart, and it's a bit of an issue. Yeah, having never used Apple Writer, I am completely in the dark here. Looks pretty substantial considering. Sweet, now let's see if we can test this second drive here. What else do we got in here? We got more Apple Writer. Here's the diagnostic. All right, so RAM and CPU test, system interrupts, MMU, IOU, RAM, disk port, sound circuitry, video pattern, game IO, keyboard. Let's just do, whoops. Didn't like that. Return ads. Oh. Let's do that one. I'll do the disc. I mean, well, it's just a card, but, and we'll do sound circuitry, speaker tone test, and video patterns. Ooh, look at all these. Color bar is not really necessary because we don't have color. Character generator, 80 and 40 column, low, high, and double resolution. Yeah, let's do all those. This is awesome. Let's execute. Exciting.
Look at those patterns. Those are good patterns.
That's just delightful. On to the graphics tests. Look carefully for any flashing characters. I don't see any. Oh, heck yeah, those 80 columns. Still pretty readable. 40 columns, obviously much more so. Low resolution graphics. Ooh, those graphics. Yeah, dude. You can see just a little bit of that persistence going on with those green phosphors there. It's not too intense though, not as much as like, say an IBM 5151. The ghosting and smearing persistence is insane on those. All right, well, whatever. I didn't really test the second drive necessarily. Maybe I was doing that incorrectly, but I'm assuming though we can just run DOS and then switch over to the second drive. I'm gonna have to see if I can remember how to, I know like you can do PR number 6 and whatnot, but I believe, oh crap, I've already screwed up. PR number 6. Yeah, that's just accessing that one. Cause yeah, like we're on number 6 no matter what, like slot 6, they're both plugged into that, but how do I select the second drive? So yeah, catalog. Okay, so that opens up like the directory sort of listing. Cool. Once you boot off drive 1, you can access drive 2 by tacking a "D2" to the end of DOS commands. Oh. All right, so let's try the Apple Writer 2 backup disk again. And we'll do I mean, we got a catalog listing, so wow, there's a bunch of crap on there. Well, I don't know what to actually load from that disk, so let me see what I've got in here. I got a bunch of Apple II disks. Yeah, I have a version of Myst for the Apple II. It's more like a homebrew thing. Here's one. Social Studies #1. Oregon Trail, States, Geography, History. I mean, you know. Okay, let's see if we can... No? Huh. I mean, hey. Okay. Well, it totally loaded. It was, I mean, it's quiet. You can't really hear what it's doing. You can hear it, but it's not as, like, clunky and creaky as the Bell & Howell model is, but... you know, seems to be working right now. I mean, it was described as flaky, not dead, so whatever. They're both worth cleaning and lubricating no matter what, but okay, sweet. So how good of a shot am I? Oh, I'm an amazing shot. Not really. How much do I want to spend on my oxen? 200. Let's spend $300 on food. Impossible. Man, this is an early version of Oregon Trail. This is just like, what was that one? 1980 version? 81 or something? It's the before 85, the more classic one. Anyway, let's spend $200 in food. Let's do 50 bullets, 50 clothes, or whatever. 50 there we have, all right. After all your purchases, you now have 150 bucks left. March 29th, 1847. Sweet. Let's continue. I want to eat well. Riders ahead, they don't look hostile. Good, attack them. The riders were friendly, but check for possible losses. Oh, my son got lost. Whoever he is. Oh no, he's dead. No, he's not. But he might be soon. Let's see, let's stop at the next fort. 20 bucks on food. 60. There we go. Let's continue eating well. Riders ahead, don't look hostile. Isn't this kind of charming though? Like these older versions of Oregon Trail. I know I briefly mentioned them when I did a video on Oregon Trail many years ago, but I actually do want to go back and like do a more in-depth retrospective on like all the different versions of it, at least the ones that I can. Uh-oh. I think I just heard the reefer cap go. I don't smell anything, but I'm gonna say that's probably what it was. Yep, that's what it was. There it is, folks. I knew we would have a good chance of that. Just a little bit of smoke. Probably gonna be a, yep, there's the smoke. So the reefer filter capacitors are always what goes, I mean, one of the things that always goes on these power supplies. Not unexpected at all. Wow, there's really not much smoke coming out of it. It almost makes me wonder if it blew before. Just a little bit. Definitely got that smell though. That is that just nasty, nasty smell. I have a lot of experience blowing those capacitors up. It's just like well, here, I'll put it up on screen. I'm not gonna open it up right now. Looks like this, and it's just like paper and plastic, and they just blow up. So you can just take it out of there and it's still gonna run fine. I think it was mainly in there to appease regulators or something. It's like a line filter for the power. So you can just clip it out, get rid of it entirely, or you can replace it with a new one, or yeah, you can just redo everything in the power supply, which is what I had planned on doing anyway here. I mentioned it earlier that like all the power supplies need that I have. None of them have been recapped, and they all have either blown reefer capacitors or, you know, they're going to, like we just saw. Thankfully, that wasn't nearly as catastrophic, but you can hear that sound we just heard. So sort of like a sizzling and a slight popping. Sometimes it's way more violent. Anyway, well, I suppose that is a natural point to stop for this video. The computer is still gonna be working fine. It's just need a little more attention. So, yay. This has been a slight learning experience for sure. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I don't know if I'll take care of that in like a blurb video or not. I have a couple of rebuilt power supplies. I might just swap it out for one of those. And then just get this one repaired at some point later. I still haven't set up my soldering station or anything, so I need to get my workbench area going. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and yeah, expect to see more Apple II things in the future, because I love these things. It reminds me so much of my earliest memories of computing, and you know, like this was it right here. This was the setup. This kind of Apple IIe, more or less, I don't know. I remember the more browner keyboard like this, and you know, a couple disk drives. They gave you one disk and you could write your name on it and save files on it. And thinking back, it had to have been Apple Writer 2 that we were using, or something very similar to it. And you would write basic little projects on there, and then you'd send them off to the dot matrix printer on the other side of the room, and you'd save your file in there, and then you'd put it back in one of these little disk holders. Like it brings back so many memories using this thing. It's bizarre. It really is. It feels like legit time travel. All right. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, or if not, whatever. Stick around for more LGR things that are always in the works, albeit at a less reliable rate as I continue to move, but you know, it's how it goes. Thank you for watching.